response video to Luddite Returns. It's getting really redundant and pathetic and tiresome. But whatever, we'll play along.
As he is inclined to do, Inmendham accuses me of slander. Now, one can readily understand the public definition of the word, and it is quite clear that Inmendham does not operate within the confines of said definition.
Yeah, malicious, distortion is pretty much the definition, and I think you maliciously are propagandizing and distorting arguments to your purposes, not to preserve a truth, not to amplify the truth, but to do exactly the opposite. Obscure it, distract it.
He must have his own definition of the word. So how does Inmendham define slander? Well, if you disagree with him.
The same old dodge that, this is all about just disagreement. It isn't about your disagreeable, slanderous commentary. Your off-subject nonsense and bullshit. No. But whatever, who cares? Go ahead, play along, silly person.
See, in that tiny little dogmatic mind of his, and this has been a constitutive property of ideologues the world over.
Oh, yes, pigeonholing. That's nowhere close to slanderous activities. People who aren't trying to slander somebody never pigeonhole people. They never try to put them in broad categories of historic proportions. No, they never pull the Hitler card. Oh, fuck you, silly person.
It's the beginning of time. Philosophic variance amounts to slander. Of course, Inmendham will justify the accusation in light of a supposed mischaracterization of his position in my using of the phrases hedonic asymmetry and hedonistic framework.
Oh, yeah, right. You get to misparaphrase me in this preposterous manner, to pigeonhole my philosophy, and to do it in this, just overtly grotesque manner. I mean, what can I say? You might as well just call me a commie. I mean, it's just bullshit. I shouldn't have to defend Stalin and Goering and, every bad guy in history because you want to wrongly describe what I'm advocating as somehow connected to those things. And that's just what your effort is. So, yeah, fuck you. There's nothing you could say to this, but fuck you. It's bullshit, man. I think bullshit, man, actually made a comment here.
But this is only because he is so goddamn stupid he doesn't even understand his own arguments. Now, my general modus operandi in discussing or debating matters with philosophic import is not to underestimate my antagonists or friendly co-philosophic appreciators' possession of intelligence and informedness.
Oh, whatever.
But when Inmendham actually had the impotence to offer as evidence in the defense of his claim of slander a Google image search, I'm on the verge of being rationally mandated to come to the conclusion that I'm dealing with a complete fucking savage.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, so you don't find the definition of words by finding how they're commonly used. Okay, fine. Is that's what you want to go with? I mean, really. Sorry, it doesn't make much sense to me. It seems to me that a popular definition should be the definition that drives us, whether we like it or not. We can argue with those definitions. We should argue with them if we think they're wrong. But frankly, I'm perfectly comfortable with leaving the word hedonism right where it is, in the gutter. Yeah, that's right. It's a gutter philosophy. Leave it there.
Ignorant dullard with absolutely no appreciation for the meta-context in which Efilism is embedded. Inmendham, your position is, in point of fact, that of welfare hedonism meta-ethically, coupled with frustrationism or deprivationism, wedded.
Oh, whatever. Again, so this is just red baiting all over the place. Like I said, just call me a communist, call me a Russian communist, narrow it all the way to I'm defending whatever. I mean, it's like me just saying, you're so Nietzsche. Now I'll just grow that mustache just a little more. You're all Nietzsche. Everything Nietzsche thought is what you think. Everything he said, you have to defend. I mean, this is just such a crock of shit. I mean, I have expounded a philosophy that I claim to be incredibly simple. I mean, it's not even complicated. I've reduced it to 4 words and the concept of gladiator war, and it pretty much says the whole fucking thing. And here you are telling me I have to defend my position from your preposterous, idiotic categories that you've chosen to throw me in. At my objection. So I not only have objected to it overtly, you're still insisting it's appropriate. And I'm not supposed to say something other than just, fuck you faggot, you fucking pedophile, I mean, what? Let's go, like I said, give me your ethnicity so I can properly ridicule you and pigeonhole you and call you what they are. You're nothing else but. I mean, fuck you.
To negative utilitarianism normatively. You see, if in the last 6 years you engaged in that hedonically benefiting activity called reading, instead of incessantly uploading shit videos.
Wow, that's high road all over the place, isn't it? I think To Be Serious did a video like that. She had a baby crying over my image. Yeah, you people are all class all the way. Jesus, fail. I mean, God. Oh, thank you. I mean, really, thank you. I'll accept victory now. Thank you very much.
You would know this. It's not slander if I'm accurately depicting your state of retardation.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, again, right. So, again, let's just understand. I have, made it perfectly clear. I'm not a hedonist. I don't affiliate myself with any philosophy that puts any value whatsoever on the chasing of ambition or contrived notions in the head of purpose or accomplishment. If you want to talk about satisfying raw desire having some value, of course it has value because it's a negative state. But any pleasure derived out of something other than a negative state, in my opinion, isn't a necessary pleasure. So, yes, I've made it as clear as I can make it. I have nothing to do with that end of the spectrum. And you want to keep saying I do, that's just a lie. So go ahead, lie, and do fart jokes. And you'll just demonstrate that that's all you are, is a propagandist. I mean, do the Goering all the way, or whatever, the Goebbels. So yeah, I'll just categorize you. You're just a disgusting propagandist, a desperate propagandist. Why don't you paint horns on my head, silly person?
The hedonic asymmetry can be traced at least back to Schopenhauer, borrowing from Buddhism. Welfare hedonism has been around for centuries and has a respectable tradition. Epicurus, Lucretius, through Bentham, and a litany of contemporary meta-ethicists subscribe to said position. You're just too stupid to understand that.
Okay, so then what do you call real hedonists? I mean, that's, if you're going to get this preposterous, right, then what the fuck was Nietzsche? Hedonist cubed? I mean, you're just losing all, words have no meaning if you're going to do this to them. So go ahead, play the game as if this is a real game. This has something to do with real definitions. I have nothing to say to you, all right? There's no point in you having this high vocabulary when you have so little respect for definitions.
The descriptive or meta-ethical position is indeed yours, where, particularly introducing frustrationism into the mix, you disagree normatively.
Whatever, frustrationism. I just make up words. I could just make up shit to call you. Is that it? What, silly nosism? You're a silly nosism. You're a silly nosiest. Fuck you.
Unfortunately, I suppose a Google image search won't reveal any of this. Reading, disciplined study would.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I didn't Google the word hedonism because I didn't know what it meant. I Googled it as a demonstration that you're not going to find this to be the common use of the word, and therefore it's not likely to be a useful use of the word. Unless you're talking about things that are abstractly very different, like you could have the word auto. You know, auto could mean like it's automatic, it's a, you know, a shortism for automatic, or it could mean automobile. Well, they're very different things, so there's no confusion, there's no problem. But that's not what we're talking about here. This is like using the word like vole, and there was another kind of vole that was really like a rabbit or something. It's not even a rabbit, it's like a happy bird, like a bird that sang the most beautiful song in the world. Well, that would cause confusion, you see, because you're calling two different animals that are related because they're both animals. They're in the same categories, and you're using the same word for them. And that's just very destructive to any kind of, you know, rational conversation.
Image search, not so much.
Whatever.
You once referenced the thousands of hours of disciplined philosophizing on the subject of Efilism, but let me pop that bubble for you, Inmendham. There is not a goddamn molecule, an atom of philosophic discipline in your understanding or in your videos.
Oh, whatever. Again, so another this wacky. You're just going to make some broad statement, all right? Just ignore the fact that these are all things you're stumbling over. So here, I've brought up concepts that you intrinsically stumble over, okay, that you're having a hard time having you have to, exactly, post images of people farting, okay, because you're so fucking, you know, you can't come up with some sort of reasoned response, so that's what you have to resort to, and you're going to call that nothing. Well, I'd call it something. If I forced you to post images of people farting, then I think, yeah, I've pretty much proven that I put one hell of a brick wall in front of you. If that's how desperate you are to get over it.
As a matter of fact, my next video upload will be that of defending Efilism, just to demonstrate what a disgusting philosophic slob you are. And I guarantee you, it will be a better philosophic, and I stress philosophic,
whatever. Yeah, it'll be a boring and tedious, entirely ignorable argument because it will strangle words into you know, a slow, horrid, choking death. You know, you can't advocate for anything because you can't compose a straightly formed sentence.
A jumbled mess of colloquially grounded shit. Representation and defense of the position than anything you've managed to squeeze out of that tiny mind of yours in the last 6 years. Generally, your argument sucks. You're so-called...
Yeah, you suck. Well, you suck too. Well, fuck you. Well, fuck you too. There, okay, fine. Yeah, we got all that out of the way. Shit.
Defense of the hedonic asymmetry amounted, like the Christian praying to God, to calling on the word evolution to come to your aid. In summary, evolution, therefore, hedonic asymmetry. Perhaps the biggest non sequitur in the history of mankind.
Yeah, who knows? Do you know what he just said there? I'm not the one resorting to nature as an explanation or justification for anything. That's what you assholes are doing. I'm clearly stating that this mechanism of our psychology is being manipulated by desire. That's why desire is sort of off the table as a real concept. But whatever, keep playing the game. Blah, 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 blah. It's nothing. What about what? I'm going to just call you're breaking the rules, you're being unfair, you're cheating the argument. Yeah, you're doing all that shit. Okay, there's no 911 operator to call. He's cheating again. No point, right? So, yeah, fuck you. Go ahead. Be a liar. Be an asshole. There's not much I can do about it. Except say shenanigans.
You think welfare hedonism is sufficient in establishing moral realism, when clearly it is not, as said position does not establish goodness and badness, a simpliciter. Consumption reproduction.
Goodness and badness, a simpliciter, whatever. All it needs to do is establish value and direction. All right, and the point is that argument's been clearly made, that it's basically the nature of the existing or living sentient organism is the nature of an organism struggling to get out of its desperation, not to fly. It's not flying in the atmosphere, it's crawling out of the drudge.
Cannibalism addiction is not so much untrue as a kind of category error in attempting to inject a reductive third-person perspectival model.
Yeah, a model. Oh my God. Let us understand the game as a game, right? Not just from our perspective, but from the entire gameplay perspective. Let's look at the game and see what the game accomplishes and whether there's an appropriate trade-off in the pieces and there's an appropriate goal accomplished. And no, that would be silly. It'd be silly to analyze a game where you had, like, you know, here's a contest. You score goals. Okay, yeah, we have two teams, and one team runs that way, and one team runs that way, but there's no goal. Yeah, you just, run around in circles because no one decided to put real goals in the game. So it'd be cool anyway, because just the confusion of the team trying to score a goal when there's no goal to score would be fun to watch.
Into the phenomenological realities of human existence, analogically akin to attempting to define Hamlet exclusively in terms of white paper and black ink.
Whatever.
We're at the beginnings of
You're the pigeonholer, so you're the one playing those games. You're the one, taking something that's already simple. It is just paper and ink and a few sentences, and you're the one having to convert it into something else to argue it because you don't have an argument. So you have to make it into something else. You have to glue fly wings on it, and a little fly eyes. You have to turn it into a fly so you can justify swatting it.
Crossroads. To borrow from Ernest May's essay, The Probability of Extraterrestrial Intelligent Life, if organism origination were relativized to a calendar year, January 1st being the origin of Earth, prokaryotes arrived February 27th, vertebrates November 24th.
Whatever. What does this have to do with anything? Is this some other defensive evolution? Like, this isn't already something this is the kind of thing you can presume somebody watching these videos already knows, that evolution took a long time, and that all humans have only been around a tiny, 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 minuscule amount of time in all of history of evolution. Wow.
First, primates December 26th, and Homo sapiens arrived December 31st at 11:56 p.m. Another couple of minutes into said relativized timescale, mastery of nanotechnology, interplanetary colonization, exocortical cognition may be realities.
Yeah, right. You're gonna drown in the ocean. It's gonna creep right up your ass. That's what's gonna happen to you. You're not gonna intercordial anything. Thank goodness. You will end. Yeah, whether you like it or not. You do it with dignity or do it like a squirming bug. Those are your two choices.
Of course, it may be that we've destroyed ourselves before then via myriad ways, resource depletion, biological warfare, etc.
Yeah, totally ignoring reality. That's what that's called. Totally ignore reality and therefore walk right into the traps that are set by reality in the world. There's all kinds of traps, violence, technology, lots of traps out there, resource depletion, all kinds of traps. And because you ignorant fucks don't want to deal with reality, keep pretending you're special, yeah, you're just going to walk right into them.
Or maybe a meteor will destroy the planet, but outside of these possibilities, I would imagine it is quite imperative to the Efilist to achieve civilizational recognition of the philosophy.
To achieve philosophical recognition of the philosophy. Well, that isn't even necessary. Again, the argument is that most people, whether they like it or not, have chosen the philosophy. They're not breeding. Most people aren't breeding sufficient to maintain our existence, and it's only the dumbest people who are. So the question is, why are we letting the dumbest people in the world drive the bus? And the answer is because the smart people aren't much smarter than the dumb people.
Inmendham's ilk will undoubtedly have to impose on the imposers, as he says, which of course will necessitate violence.
Which, of course, is perfectly rational. Once again, stopping rapists is a good idea. The fact that it sometimes gets messy, well, that's just too bad. But again, it's just not the argument. The point is there's lots of steps you can take before anything like that takes place. And if you take those steps, you don't need any other steps. Again, if you confine the reproduction to even the dumbest of the dumb, they can't create enough human beings to keep maintaining the game. It won't happen. Their spawn will reject their philosophy. Their spawn will say, I'm not as dumb as you fuckers. That's what's going to happen. It's inevitable. Okay? It'll only be the dumbest of the dumb. Just make having kids, make people pay for it. Make them pay the full price for having kids, and that'll wipe out the overproducers, okay? No more of this welfare crap. We give you welfare for being irresponsible? No. We put you in a work camp or whatever it takes, okay? You got to pay the freight for your reproductive choices. Your reproductive choices are not somebody else's problem. They're going to be your problem. And if you start making it their problem and make them accountable for their reproductive choices, then all of a sudden, a lot of that extra reproduction is going to go away. And all you're going to be left with, like I said, is the dumbest of the fanatics. And all of their kids are going to say, damn, my parents are dumb motherfuckers. I sure as hell ain't going to have kids. So you're going to even have less likelihood of having kids.
Perhaps there will be an Armageddon of sorts between the Efilist necrophiles and the biophiles. A final showdown between the forces of life and death.
It's not about life and death. Again, so it's not about the philosophy, right? The philosophy isn't about dying. It's about whether or not you make a choice to play God. So it's the play Godders versus the, hey, wait a minute, you don't have a license to do that. You didn't even go to college, fucker. Yeah.
And in Inmendham, if you'd like to go to war, that's fine, Dave. Fuck it, let's go.
Whatever. This is necessary. So again, just ignore the fact that I've advocated all these other steps that happened previous to anything like this, any necessity to do this. And again, this is, the argument is what gives people the right. And you're saying the fact that you were born with testicles gives you rights. Okay? Biology gives you rights. So you're going to just resort to biology to say biology made me capable of it, therefore I have a right to exercise my capability. That, in my opinion, is about as cold, dumb, ignorant as you can get. I mean, resorting to nature for your authority. I mean, it's about, like I said, how do you I mean, I know you have to be somewhat intelligent to even have a conception of nature as a force, but still, it's about as dumb can get. The DNA molecule says so. I mean, it's lamer. I mean, it really is. I mean, when you think about it, at least there's some integrity to people saying, my God says so. Because at least a God is something. A God isn't the twitching anus that fucking nature is. You're asking a twitching anus. What is truth, great twitching anus? Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's just so fail. At least gods are made out of thousands of years of life experience. Human beings have life experience. They come up with certain rules because those rules make life better, and they say God says so, just to give the rules some authority. But the game was they already figured out the rule made sense. It just works better this way. That's why the rule exists. It's because life works better with the rule. And, explaining that to people doesn't always work. So sometimes you have to just say, it's the law. God says so. because too many people are too stupid to understand concepts of, oh, you mean the other players they feel too? Oh, I didn't realize the other players are also feeling organisms. There's people really that dumb. I mean, they're smart, but they're really that dumb where they've never really acknowledged the fact that, oh, the other people feel. Ooh, yeah, I get it now that my exploitation might be problematic. Yeah. Whatever, nihilist bastards of the imposition.
Walking side by side.
Whatever, this music is just horrific. Too Vogue. Oh, isn't that great? No kids at the end. Why don't you show the ones in the cancer ward? You know, getting having all their bone marrow destroyed. You know, why don't you show those kids? Fuck you. You are despicable, sir. Despicable. I swipe at thee, metaphorically. Yeah. Fuck you.